Welcome back to another episode in the Go Shout Love podcast. My name is Seth Carnell, and today we are talking with Lacey and Mark, the parents of Savannah, a happy, beautiful little girl who has Naa10 Mutation, Hydrocephalus, Epilepsy, and EOE, which stands for something that I've tried pronouncing and simply cannot. I apologize for that. Now, this was a great conversation with two people who give a very real look into the life with a child like Savannah. Along with me is Jessica Santo, our family relations director and talented photographer. Now, we recorded this at a public location with some construction going on, so forgive us for the noise in the background, although the wonderful personalities of Mark and Lacey will probably distract you from that, I'm sure. Please take a moment to rate and review us on Apple Podcast. It will go a long way in continuing to shout love for families like this.
What's your favorite thing to do with her, Dad? Favorite activity?
I think I like them all. I don't necessarily have one specific one. I just like hanging out with her.
Does she like Does she watch movies and listen to music, or is she just more of a
music? Yes, she can listen to any kind of music out there.
Will you sing her Daddy Shark from time to time, or are you against that song like a lot of parents?
I'll sing her anything, but I would say I more sing her regular songs, if anything, that are on the radio.
Can you give us a sample?
Mom can give you samples. Yeah, Mom sings everything.
Yeah. Doesn't she? What are some of the major challenges that you guys face with her?
That could be medical, personal, emotional.
You said she doesn't sleep very well.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation is
over here. Definitely something I've lived with for about 8 years now.
That's a challenge. That's hard.
Like last night, she was up from about 1 to 3, and I'm like, seriously? You need your beauty rest, and so do I. Please go to sleep. And then she was up at 6 again. So it's like...
She's a partier.
She is, and she always has been during the middle of the night. So
does she sleep during the day?
Yeah, she'll nap. Like, she'll probably nap here because she's gonna just conk out. But she does like little cat naps throughout the day, not just one, but like 2 or 3, or it depends on the day. And
I just can't get over how calm she is, just sitting here with us.
She's calm in her chair, but you take her out and you'd see the wild side.
And let's just for a second talk about her eyebrows, because she's got the most amazing eyebrows. Like, people would kill for those eyebrows.
She's like that in my eyelashes.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
She's such a sweetie.
Mark, is there a moment that stands out for you that you can just remember, even from the day she was born to now, that just sticks out as something that was either overwhelming or just a personal challenge?
I mean, I guess it's not necessarily overwhelming for me. I don't know why, but it's just the amount of diagnoses that she's had. Like, it's like you get into one and you learn, well, Lacey teaches me about it, and then you digest it, and then she gets another one, and then it's like, she's just been through more than most people I know that are 90. I mean, and she still just sits there and she smiles and she runs through it like it's a brick wall. She just goes head first.
I never talk about it because I'm like,
it's just crazy that she's just so happy and content, and she just, and maybe it's because she doesn't quite comprehend everything that she's been through, but she's a little
pretty high
spark plug.
pain tolerance.
So I'm not going to lie, and this might just be an incorrect observation, but it almost feels like you were built to be this kind of father.
Yeah, I'm picking that up too.
I don't know if anyone's built for it. I think some people are built better for it.
He does a fantastic job at taking on
But she just makes it easy. I mean, I don't really think this... I mean, I'm still changing diapers at 7.5, but it doesn't bother me. Like, you can't change who she is. And through all her diagnoses, I still, to this day, haven't been proven that I'm wrong. I think it was the stroke that made her cognitive ability a little bit more than most. I mean, she's got a ton of different diagnoses, and you can take bits and pieces from all of the... I say girls, but all of the children that are in her Naa10. But I just think there was something about that. And that kind of always bothered me, because was there a way that we could have prevented that? But not necessarily.
So what about for you guys in your relationship? I mean, I'm sure that when you don't get the sleep and he does. I mean, I've been a newborn mom, so I've been there. But how are you guys? Do you guys do anything specific to make time for you?
We're not very good at that, actually. We try.
And that's my fault, too, because if I come home, I'd rather hang out with both of them. I'm not saying that I don't want to be independently alone, but if we're going out to eat, I'm like, why wouldn't we bring her?
Right, because she's pretty tolerable, as you can see.
And she wants good food.
It's challenging at times, because there is some sleep deprivation. He does acknowledge that, but he doesn't always acknowledge that. So just depends, you just have to work. I think we have to work harder at it.
And I think that you each pull your strengths from each other, and maybe something that Dad's better at that you need, and vice versa. I think we hear that a lot. So it's
also childcare too. You have to trust somebody that's with your kid.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a 16, 15-year-old kid that can come over and be like, all right, I'm going to watch her while she sleeps, Not that they have to be paid professionals, but they have to be cognizant of what could go wrong, and if something does go wrong, don't lose your cool. Just pick up the phone and call somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's been a challenge. I mean, just managing her care. I mean, there's always something. But overall, like, we both feel truly blessed that she's kind of put us on a different kind of journey, because I would never be where I am today without Savannah.
So I want you both to answer this question. I don't care who goes first, but if there's a new parent out there, or a parent out there who is right in the beginning of this, and they're scared and they don't know what to do, what piece of advice would you give them as they're facing all of these new diagnoses?
From an outsider like myself jumping into it, like I said, it never really overwhelmed me right off the bat, but for some reason, women have a lot more hormones, and I would say that you should
Mark, you know what?
It's true, though. But you guys analyze things, but I'm not saying I should do it more. But I think the biggest thing that I have to filter.
This is fantastic.
I think for you, the biggest stepping stone for you was jumping into the Perkins Kids group. When you were isolated and didn't have friends, it was a lot more overwhelming for you to comprehend certain things. And I think once you started to realize that I can jump into this community and then not only that, be a productive member of it and helping people, I think you flipped a switch and became a lot more personable and open to other people. Now she can't stop talking about Savannah. Now she's always so proud. Now she wants to. But in the beginning, when the first therapist told her to go to this group, she was like, not doing it. And then she went and she's like, oh man, I've missed out on a year. Mm-hmm. So it's more of just jumping in and seeing that there are a lot of people that are in your situation, but they hide. You don't necessarily see enough people that have kids that aren't necessarily perfect.
I love that piece of advice, kind of not to hide and to...
You just have to get out there.
Like
They're the same people that deserve the same thing that all of your other children or every child deserves.
That's very, very
and if you're
true.
ashamed of it, get over it quick, because they're not ashamed. They're proud of who they are. They think they are perfect.
Sure. He doesn't need a filter, Lacey. What are you talking about?
Sometimes, when you say women, you're calling out women.
I am. In a good way. They are, though. But you guys just think.
But I think, women. That's why the world works so well, because you have to have that.
But I say women are faster, smarter, and more efficient than men. I was raised by a lot of women.
That's good. What about you? What would you give advice to, Lacey?
So I do kind of work in this field now, and I do meet a lot of parents who are on the, you don't understand what it's like, and I can offer my advice that I do, and I always feel that, I haven't struggled too much with Savannah either. There will be times that get me down, but then I just go for it. I just love her for who she is. I've embraced the journey wholeheartedly, and I think that's what you really need to do, is surround yourself by people who get you, because you can't survive probably without that. Not having another network, because you can't continuously compare your child to a typical child when they have so much going on. So finding the uniqueness of every child and embracing who they are. I don't know. I think that's the biggest advice. Find your network of people, because he's right. When he said that, I'm like, yeah, that was kind of when I really made connections with friends, and social media has been awesome for me.
And I just love her social media name, My Tiny Teacher, because she's teaching you so much.
Yeah,
and I think that's incredible.
That's kind of why I did it. I used to be I can't even remember, but I was in school and I'm learning every day about vision and the eyes, but I'm thinking, I've got this little girl that's taught me more about life than anybody will ever teach me. And, you know, it's a continuous learning journey. Yeah. And she's awesome. I mean, it's something new every day.
We simply love introducing the world to these amazing families, and we also like making an impact in their lives and helping with their everyday needs. That's why we sell creative apparel, and half of all those proceeds go directly to the families. So please head over to our website, goshout.love, and purchase a t-shirt, a mug, a hat, or more. Savannah has a number of therapies that are not covered by insurance. Each purchase in May will help cover those costs. You can also start a monthly subscription and shout love for great families every month. Use the discount code podcast at checkout to save $5 on your first order when you start a subscription. Again, that's $5 off your first order with the discount code podcast at checkout. And back to our conversation.
So to wrap up, what are your biggest hopes for Savannah from today and until eternity? What are your biggest hopes for her?
I just want her to be included, loved, accepted, more of those things. Like, because she's happy, I want her to remain happy. That's one of my biggest. Happy and healthy, you know, loved, accepted, included.
That all seems pretty easy.
Yeah, I know, but you'd be surprised sometimes when, you know, you're out in public and I'm like this gloating mom, like, I don't care if she has a wheelchair or, you know, whatever, she's my daughter, and then you get baby, and I'm like, that's been yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was interesting. I took her to a party.
Like a 1.5-year-old baby. I was like, close.
How do you handle that? I as a mom, and Seth's got 2 kids, and when we go out, I'm always, you know, always making sure my kids are always aware of other people and to be kind. And I think as a mom whose kids aren't on this rare journey, I get a little nervous, like, oh, please be kind, always be kind.
Well, I mean, kids are kids, and we do get that.
Yeah.
Like, I totally understand that.
What's your advice to a parent if a kiddo does come up and ask questions about Savannah? Do you like them to ask the questions, or let the kids ask the questions?
I had a little girl ask me yesterday. We were at a birthday party for one of her friends with special needs, and the little girl said, "Can she talk?" And I said, "No." She's like, "Oh, either can Hannah. They're like twins." And I just smile. Because, I mean, I know the comprehension isn't completely there, but, I mean, it's nice for people to be like, "Oh, hi," but not every kid will come up and do that. I think that parents really need to talk to their kids more about it. So that way it's not such a foreign thing, because it has been, you know, when we were growing up, we had, you know. So
let's say we were at the public library we're at the Boston's public library right now because of the rain. And I had Lucy. Would it be okay for me as a mom to bring Lucy up and introduce her to Savannah?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. We would love that. I mean, that's how children learn.
And I think some parents shy away from doing that because they are worried about what their kids might say or act, but I don't know.
I think you have to be, I mean, they're children.
Yeah.
If the adult is saying something offensive, that's one thing, but if it's a child, you have to be considerate of that.
It's kind of hard to think that if the child's saying something offensive that they got it from somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And usually the child's just being brutally honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they are, and you know.
And I think it would affect me more if she could comprehend about that brutal honesty, but since she hasn't quite picked up on those cues yet, then it doesn't really bother me, as long as it's not like bothering me. Then I'd rather them ask more questions than not.
The mama bear in me will always come out a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
When it deals with Savannah.
And that is not hormone related.
No.
That is
just
you know.
there.
Sorry, I gotta get that in.
No.
I definitely.
Mark, what are your hopes for Savannah?
I mean, the biggest one is just we can keep her happy. Like, if there's some kind of goal, maybe that she could become more independent. Like, she uses a light gaze at school, and if she could physically or somehow communicate with us that if we gave her 2 choices, she could pick one and would honestly know it was the choice. But I don't know if that's being selfish on just wanting to give her something that she really wants?
Communication's, though, the hardest.
I mean, that's if we could get her to communicate on some kind of level with some consistency, I think that would be amazing. But
is a light gaze the same thing as a Toby?
No, so it's an eye gaze.
An eye gaze, that's what
an eye gaze, and that's a Toby, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's. I think there's a few brands, but she's basically right now she's in the training mode for kind of visual attention and some of that. And with CVI, we want to just make sure she's making clear and concrete choices, and pictures are really hard for her. So
that makes
colors.
sense.
If two colors are on a screen, one's yellow, one's red, and she consistently picks the red one, well, she might just be choosing red. Like, we've got to have a way to validate her communication. And she does choose objects, and she's very good at communicating at mealtime. Like, I want more. If you're not fast enough,
I want a drink.
She hits the tray. Yeah. So they're trying to get her to use a more symbol at school to, just have more of a voice. But some of that's hard, too, because it's really not her voice. I don't know. Communication is tough.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I feed her a lot, so we communicate all the time.
She's like,
what's your favorite food? You said cheeseburgers?
She loves everything.
She really does. She
anything she doesn't like?
Medicine. She's on antibiotic right now.
Hates it. But, like, quivering hates it. Like, you put her in her mouth, she starts getting mad. But vegetables, cooked, nothing crunchy, because we can't give it to her. But she really does eat. I don't think there's a food she dislikes.
Everything.
Like, everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, she has a really healthy diet, but we also like to treat her.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt that me and Lacey are pretty good cooks. So she will eat everything that we make.
She likes sweets a lot.
She doesn't love chocolate, though.
Girl,
but she eats everything else.
You should have seen me with my donut yesterday.
Ooh.
Right?
It's so crazy how calm she is now compared to like when we were taking pictures and there was other noises around. She's just calm as a cucumber right now.
She's pretty calm in her chair mostly. She's also now kind of tired. Yeah. I can tell. But really, if I took her out, you'd see it though.
She bounces.
Well, we won't keep her too much longer here.
She has all that wild energy. I mean, you're not seeing all that right now, but that I feel like trying to hold her has become really challenging because she pushes so much, and I was like, oh.
We want to thank you guys not only just for coming out here, but for being open, honest, and what I would consider to be a good role model for other families who are going through this, because that was some sound advice that I think could go a long way for some people who might need to hear it.
Awesome, thank you.
And we are so excited to have finally met her.
I know.
She was very heavily nominated to Go Shout Love. She's got a lot of support.
She does have a lot of support. She's, it's what gets you through, really. Like, you need that. You were very.
Thank you for listening. We can't thank all of you enough for how well you shout love for these families. Please, once again, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts so that we can continue doing this and it can reach more people. And use the discount code podcast at checkout to save $5 if this is your first order and starting a subscription. Discount code podcast. As always, people, please go out and continue to shout love for families like this.